Sup flappers, welcome back to another video. Now before we get this started, I know this is gonna rub some people the wrong way, as it always does. I could choose to ignore that, but I just find that there's always a point in talking sense with people until they prove that there's just no point. So I'm telling you guys right now, a lot of these changes are things that I personally feel like the game needs. They may or may not come next patch. I hope they are going to be addressed. At least some of them to be addressed next patch, even if the changes don't come, right? Now, with that said, like, subscribe if this is the kind of content you like to see. I make videos about Genshin Impact every single day, and very soon we're going to have the patch 2.1 live stream, which I will be live translating if it is in Chinese. If not, we can have a nice watch party with the translations already present on screen. With that said, let's get right into the video with the first thing that I would love to see be addressed. Now, let's get this one out of the way, alright? For my long-time viewers, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Artifact preset. Now, it's almost been one whole year since I started talking about this. For those who have been watching me, like I said, for multiple patches, they're likely gripping their hair, hoping I could just shut up about this. But for others, this might be something new to you, alright? So for older viewers, please fast forward past this so you don't lose your mind over hearing me asking for this feature patch after patch. So for artifact preset, it's not the easiest feature to implement. I know that, alright? What it essentially is a feature where we can set specific sets of artifacts for quick and easy loadout scenarios. For example, 4-piece Crimson Witch with an HP Sands for Hu Tao, and a separate 4-piece Crimson Witch for General Pyro Carry with an attack percentage Sands, 4-piece Noblesse for general support, and 4-piece Noblesse with full HP Sands, Goblet, and Head specifically for Diona. Right? It basically is a custom option for everyone to save their artifact sets, which are often swapped around when trying or using different characters. Currently, I often find myself attempting the Abyss with a new team, and as I fail, I swap characters in and out. Finally, by the time I beat the Abyss at the 7th iteration of my team, I completely forget where some artifacts had to go. It could take me up to 10 minutes just to reorganize everything for my overworld team once again. Now, I feel like I can speak for a lot of people in saying that if the Abyss wasn't so tedious, especially when it comes to organizing artifacts and weapons, that a lot more people would be partaking in the experience. Sometimes it's just too much hassle. They feel like it's not worth it to go through the pain and the suffering of properly organizing multiple dozen sets of artifacts. For some people who have been farming since the very beginning, you might even have almost 100 different pieces of artifacts that you can swap around. I don't know, alright? So while we are on the topic of the Abyss, there's another feature that they really need to add, and that is the feature to have us be able to customize character loadouts in the Abyss screen. Now, I can't be the only one who loads into Abyss only to forget whether or not my main DPS has the right weapon or artifacts. I find that late game in general right now in Genshin just has a ton of quality life of changes that are just waiting to happen in order to make it easier for people to spend hours playing the end game. Abyss does not require you to use resin, but man, does it cost a lot of sanity to properly grind through it. With that said, let us move on to other things that the game likely needs. For most who don't play with shield characters, you may not know, but you actually have no idea when shields are about to be depleted or about to time out. For most of us, we kind of just ballpark it and guess, and through experience, we start to memorize. And for Zhongli users, they have the added benefit of only needing to remember the duration of the shield, because that thing is never getting cracked. But I do think having a visual cue for shields as they get depleted would be a great quality of life change going forward. It could be a full shield into a slightly cracked shield, then into a severely cracked shield, and then boom, it's gone. It takes the learning curve away from playing with shield characters as well, and memorizing how much damage each character's shield can tank with each set of artifacts. I mean, very hardcore players may think that this would be a bad move, as it makes playing the game way too easy. But man, maybe we could have it be toggled, so if some people really want to flex how good they are at their in-game mechanics, they can choose to do so. Alright, moving forward, another change that the game desperately needs, in my opinion, is that it needs to give Geo and Anemo a reaction. I don't know, people. Call me crazy, but for a game that is heavily built around reaction gameplay, it feels odd that there are two elements that simply does not work with each other. If any of you knows why Mihoyo did not give Anemo and Geo a reaction, or if they have came out and gave us a reason, please comment it below. If I see it, I'll pin it at the very top because I am dying to know, man. I don't think it will ruin the game balance if Mihoyo properly implements these reactions. If anything, it will add to more viable teams and strategies to play the game, adding more values to both existing and future characters. Now, I get it. Anemo and Geo characters are some of the strongest in the game currently. We have Venti, we have Zhongli, we have Albedo, we have Ningguang, we have Sucrose, we have Kazuha. I get it, alright? They're very, very strong in of themselves already, and giving them further a reaction could break the game. That's why I was saying Mihoyo needs to find a way to properly balance it if they were to implement it. So I don't know, likely it'll never come, but maybe wishful thinking. Now onwards, we have the topic of Electro. While many have echoed the need for Electro changes, I myself have also partaken in this discussion, but it should be said that Mihoyo has many ways they can go about to adjusting Electro's current position in the game. Starting with the most obvious, and that is to straight up buff or rework the element. Now this would include direct changes to Electro, its scaling, and how it interacts with other elements, which would mean that they will also be changing reactions. So they would be reworking overload, let's say going from knocking back enemies to stuttering enemies, and also allowing crits. Or another option Mihoyo has, which I don't see many people talking about, is just straight up building Electro characters differently going forward. So they would really just be built different, right? You build them around the fact that the reactions will be weaker or give different purpose to the characters. Now, this last option is seemingly to become more and more likely, as if you look at the current Electro roster, they each have fairly jacked stats, which Mihoyo seemingly have been planning from the start. I want to let everyone know that I myself would love Electro buffs or rework, but realistically, how much resources does Mihoyo have to making big revamps like this? I don't know. It's much more likely that Mihoyo will tune both Bao and Sarah to be strong individual characters with unique kits in order to draw appeal, as opposed to having them rely on Electro reactions. Also, the unique possibility of synergizing with other units may also play a part in how the Electro element will be seen going forward. With the potential release of a new element sometimes further down the line, it could be said that all this is still far too early to be considered. Dendro likely will not be coming for many more patches, and it alone has the potential to, and as Papa M Tash likes to say, change everything. Alright, with that said, I think I've pummeled this enough. A lot of people are already typing comments. I can hear like, wow, Riz, why are you always so negative? Why you always only talk about the bad things about the game? And to those people I say, why do you only watch the videos where I talk about bad things about the game, right? I have a ton of the videos that are out that I praise the game and talk a lot of positive things, but sometimes you give and take. Sometimes we just have to talk about these things so we can see if going forward the game's going to improve. If you never echo this, if you never talk about this publicly or in the surveys, then there's no point to really being a part of the community, I feel, because these types of discussions come and go. It's just part of playing the game and being part of the community, man. Alright, with that said, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe and peace.